Texas to meet up with Danger Dan.
Oh, hey.
Dan called me a couple days ago and said, hey, I've got a brand new Pan Am sitting here. Why don't you come down and ride it home? So we are going to pick that up this evening and head out in the morning. We're going to do nothing but 2 lanes on the way home. Going to hit some gravel, some dirt, probably some trails, definitely some twisties. Instead of taking the direct route home, we're going to get off the beaten path. We're going to hit some of the good parts of the Ozarks. And we're going to turn a 10-hour trip into a 3-day trip and have a whole bunch of fun.
Nailed it.
For those of you that don't know Danger Dan, Dan is a true motorcycle enthusiast. He definitely looks like a biker when you see him. But Dan's not beholden to any one particular type of bike. You know, he definitely puts a lot of miles on that chopper. However, he was one of the first guys to really grab a hold of the Pan America and put it through its paces. I mean, he's not keeping that thing on the asphalt. He goes everywhere.
No dance. Good to see you. Man, welcome to Texas.
Love it.
Have you seen any of these before?
I have.
It's a new bike Harley's making called Pan America.
Really?
Yeah,
Looks very good.
once I get my hands on them, they turn into the Pan America. You've seen that I bring the trucks, I dropped it in rivers, I ran over rocks, and it's handled it really well.
That's what it's made for.
Mainly the biggest concern, the biggest problem I've had so far is filling that radiator up with dirt and mud. I mean, I was in Peru, like, just pulling over on the side of the mountain and hitting river water with this cable. It was just getting hot, you know? You go down to the mud and then you come up and climb out of the Amazon and it gets hot. It's crazy down there in Peru. I dinged it up with a bunch of rocks and pebbles. And I think we can make this fender, you know, for maybe something to protect the motor from the wheel. And then, you know, like dirt bikes have like the louvered radiator. And I don't see any reason why we couldn't do something like that there.
Still get plenty of room.
Yeah, and the intake's in here, you know, and it's just, as you can see, there's already dirt and mud. You know, the rotors, look at that. They're just out in the yellows. You know, and the things I think about are what I see on dirt bikes and bike trails, you know? Because I take this thing places where breaking down could be a serious issue, you know? Now this stock skid plate, right? I immediately on my other bike got one of their records, and that's one of the parts they operate with. And it does. It covers this. The battery's right there, and it's worked really well. It does kind of drive me to just bolt to the motor. But, you know, these bolts are kind of like shear pins. Where like underneath, when I've hit rocks, the bolts are broken or just bent, which is great instead of the motor. But that, you know, with the aftermarket, I think we could do something cooler though. You know, there's always the possibilities of making it look rad. But then there's also some other small things on the bike that, like this right here, you know, on my bike that I've ridden a lot of places. And it's worked great, you know, but it does worry me, you know, like that's a rear brake. That's kind of, I would hate to lose a rear brake out of it.
Yeah, especially coming down a mountain trail.
Yeah, especially coming down a mountain trail. You know, in the fender, look, see how there's a bunch of dirt up here? Yeah, to keep the dirt and mud off that shock. Once again, you know, just like your bikes, mainly that's just peace of mind is what I'm after so that I can take this to the places it's capable of going. And this right here worried me at first.
Yeah, I've heard people say this and that about it, but here's it holds up.
It holds up good. I mean, I use it like, they did a recall because it was breaking at first when you pick it up and put it on the seat stand. Since then, it's been fine. What else on this side? Nothing stands out over here. You know, I broke
chain guards.
Oh yeah, you know, more protection. When I'm sitting on this bike, you know, you're falling out too, right? You push it right there, and my knee hits. Cool. And I haven't ever knocked one off, but every time I hit it, I'm like,
that is kind of heavy, right there.
I don't, you know, when you're off road getting aggressive, you're grabbing the bike with everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And your knee, my knee hits that exactly right there on that connection. Not just pull, but connection. Another thing I added to my bike were like little risers, like racing yesterday, dog days. Gives you another 1.5 inches, and you can move it forward and backwards, and it's great.
So I think everybody has heard about the power and performance that the Pan America brings to the table right off the showroom floor. What we're going to be looking more towards is obviously some protective gear. There are some pretty obvious overlooked areas where we think we can provide better protection and at the same time make the bike look better. There's going to definitely be some ergonomic improvements, giving you adjustability on the road. Because if you're riding this bike how it's meant to be, you're going from seated to standing up quite often. If you're like me and you got to ride to get to the mountains, you got to do 800, 900 miles to get there. You want to be able to move around, get some different seating positions, find some new comfort. And then when you get there, you want all of that to still be usable, but usable in a different capacity. That's, the whole idea behind an adventure bike. You've got a bike that can get you down the highway. It can be fun in canyons, and then when you get to the trail, it's still a very formidable force. So the parts we're going to focus on are going to be basically protective and then ergonomic, and there is going to be a couple of performance parts. But a lot of where we go is going to hinge on this ride home and the miles I put on the bike in the following months. One thing you guys may notice about the aftermarket for the adventure bikes is almost nothing is made in America. So what we like about this opportunity is not only can we bring you inventive, innovative, new solutions for the Pan America, we can also bring them to you with superior manufacturing. Whether it's parts being machined, parts being fabricated, or just the parts being designed, we're going to take it to the next level like we do with the rest of our lines. And then when we get home, the cool part is you're going to get to watch us go from pushing ideas around on paper to the computer, to printing off plastic 3D models, to prototypes actually coming out of our machines, to when we actually go into production, and all the way down to packaging and shipping the parts. And you get to see a lot of the testing, which is fun too. The plastic part may look good, it might look great on a computer screen, but then sometimes you put the part on the bike and it just doesn't make sense, and you'll get to see that. We fail as many times as we succeed, and you'll get to see that firsthand.
I'm stoked to share it with you.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
To let you ride it and to take, look at it and see what else you can pick up,
That's some ideas.
I mean, I think that there's, this is Harley's first jam in this direction.